Hi, Will. Welcome to our counseling session. What brings you here today?
Hey, yeah, a couple weeks ago, I was at that shooting at um Arroyo High School, um, and I'm a junior there. And it's kind of crazy. It would be like it's like the first couple of weeks where I was able to start like to drive to school because I just turned 16 a few weeks before that, and so I'm still riding pretty high, and then um. somewhere I think it was like third period or something like that, is when I mean you probably saw all the news and stuff, but
Mm.
um is when the shooting started happening. Um and yeah, anyway, so like we're starting back in school. I think they reopen it. Today's Thursday. I think they reopen it on Monday. Um and I'm freaked out about going back in that building. I don't want to. I just don't want to go back in there at all. I don't want to go back in there.
Mm. Wow, it sounds like such a traumatic event for you to experience. I am so sorry you went through this, and so now you're facing having to go back to school. Um, can you tell me the last time you were there at school?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it was the day of the shooting. Um, and like I remember mostly, you know, it's just one of those things that just kind of comes in waves. Like it's such a weird experience. It's such a like a it's like there's like sounds that don't belong, and then like total panic, and then I really remember like the smell of cut grass, like after we come out, um like I remember after it's over, like everyone's like shot adrenaline wise, everyone's exhausted, everyone's like weeping or in shock.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I remember the smell of like dew and freshly cut grass, and looking for people on the school
Mm.
lawn. And I was particularly worried about finding my friend Rose, who actually ended
Mm.
up getting shot. She didn't
Wow.
make it out. And so um, just the idea of having to go back to where, uh, man, yeah, the last memory I have is like, um, we we used to find this way to park like next to each other, like kind
Mhm.
of catty corner more or less.
Mhm.
And we would always try to have our cars next to each other so we could walk. You didn't get here at the same time, but we would obviously leave at the same time so we could walk this
Mm.
to our cars together at the end of the day. Um, and just the thought of like what she went through, and the thought of not being able to do that at the end of the day. Uh, I just don't want to like face that again. I don't want to have to,
Mm.
to even like confront that reality. It's overwhelming.
Just as you're talking about losing Rose, I sense in your face that sadness, that just loss. And, I can tell she meant a lot to you. What is it like not having her around anymore?
Yeah. I mean, actually, it's been 2 weeks, and I mean, I don't know. You know how it is with guy and girl friendships. There's always a question. So I just have like complicated feelings of um we just depended on each other,
Mm.
and I miss both sides of that. I miss the fact that I could lean on her with like whatever was going on in my family or whatever I was like worried about at school and stuff. Not to mention she was like way more responsible than me, and so there like I just wouldn't pay attention to due dates and stuff like that, and she'd be on top of
Mm.
it. So I'm gonna miss that about her, but I also have been
Mm.
missing like just the, feeling needed. Like
Mm.
she, as much as I leaned on her, she leaned on me too. And it feels like a part of me to that's just like not, I don't know, there anymore, at least not as much, that was like useful and helpful and um needed. And I don't know, like it's just hard to imagine that come to life again. And then to have to walk into the place where, it died with her in some ways, like I just I just don't want to do it. I just don't want to deal with that.
What kinds of feelings do you feel as you think of going back? What are you afraid of?
Well, I don't know that I feel like afraid of it happening again as much. I mean, I do. There's like there's some of that, right? Like it's happened before, so it seems possible it can happen again. And then like it seems like in my body I can tell that like I'm afraid. But I also just feels like so much rage
Mm.
uh that like someone would have the audacity like to think that they could take lives into their own hand. Um and I just feel, yeah, I can, if I think about it too much, I feel really sad about Rose, and then I feel uh overwhelmed with rage. Um and I think being in that place again, I will feel afraid, and then just the all of the reminders of the loss of Rose will be everywhere. It's inescapable. I think that's what I mostly feel afraid of. Those two things.
So you mentioned you feeling rage and mostly sad and somewhat of a little bit of fear
Yeah,
going back.
yeah.
Now, is there a possibility of, I was thinking of you going back and perhaps seeing it a different way where um, it can be a place where you can perhaps find support within your school. You have other friends, teachers, or school staff that um, could help you through during this time.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so like we were part of a little crew of sorts, right? Um, and we haven't really, at least not all of us together, haven't really gotten together since the shooting happened. And so the school will be, I mean, we all had homeroom together. So school will be the first time that we've all been together. And I think they've even adjusted the schedule to like give a lot of cushion for being together for reentry. So there'll be that. And then two, um, we used to, me and her and maybe a couple other folks from that like little crew of folks used to used to take lunch in this really cool teacher's room. And so we would like grab our lunch and then go kind of finish up the lunch period in his room. Um, and I bet I can imagine like going in there and not having her will hurt a lot, but
Mm.
being able to talk it through together, being able to like remember her and miss her together. I think I can imagine that being, I don't know,
Mm.
hopefully helpful. Definitely inevitable. I mean, it's gonna happen, and it seems better. It feels like it's better to honor her, by
Mm.
going back in there than it would be to ignore all of it.
That's a great example that you gave. Yes, we can't not replace Rose, and her loss is a big loss. And, that pain that you feel is real and that can't be taken away. And what happened to you as well is something that happened that is real. But it's also important for you to know that this event doesn't change that you still have others that care and love you and support you and are there, that have gone through it with you, and um, that it will take time for you to process and to just find ways to come to terms as you slowly start going back to school. So, um, our time is coming to an end. And I want to thank you for sharing your story. And I would like to talk to you more about this in our next session and continue to explore ways of finding coping strategies for you, or ways for you to make it uh, more more of an ease for you to go back to school slowly and start, you know, with new perspectives and so forth. Thank you,
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah. Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
Okay. Wow,
Yeah.
you did a great job too.
Thanks. That was great, Claudia. I felt like you were totally attuned. You're paying really, really good, close attention when you remarked about my facial expressions. Um, One thing that you did really strongly that I did not, that I really appreciated was in a way that didn't like you allowed the weight of the thing to hit and to absorb and for it to be okay, for it not to be okay. And yet still you like had what was a pretty strengths-based like response towards the end there, where you helped me lean into like, oh, I do have community, I do have, and I kind of forget about the strengths-based like approach,
Mhm.
especially in this small time frame. But that was I felt like you brought that so strongly, but in a way that still that didn't detract from my needing to feel how sad it was and the fear and whatever. So I thought that was really strong, in particular.
Okay.
But overall,
Okay.
it was great. It was
All
really
right.
good.
Thank you. I felt like I needed more time to get the mismatch and, draw it out
I
more,
don't
but,
know. I
you know,
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know. I felt
Okay.
like it was pretty
All
good.
right. All
Yeah,
right. Okay. Anything else?
cool.
All right.
Not that I can think of. I'm looking here. No, I mean all the entertaining empathy. Containment less so because I wasn't super emotive. You kind of either really. Um, Deepening, we both caught each other into deepening, and then
Mhm.
mismatching. I mean, I feel like that's even
Yeah.
the guru guy in the memories video was the second session thing for him, and I
Right.
think his
Right.
sessions, yeah,
Yeah.
and
I
his
just,
sessions weren't 8 minutes, so
right. Well, we
we
did the
did
best, I
okay.
guess. All right.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Will. Talk to you later.
Bye, Claudia. Thanks for
Okay.
everything.
Bye. Feel better.
Thank you so much. Yeah.